Not even 24 hours after we got the news that Peterbot and Pollo were dropping Boltz to pick up Rapid, it looks like we got confirmation on who the new trio is going to be for both Clix and Boltz now. And I know all of the rumors were going around saying what insane team is going to pick up Boltz, and is Clix just completely finished now? Well, it turns out we are actually going to be getting to see the trio of Clix, Boltz, and Rise now. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we have a bunch to talk about, including how this trio even came to be, as well as if I think they are actually going to end up sticking or not. Real quick, before this video starts though, we are less than 200 subs away from 80,000 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe right now and turn on notifications. Use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Without further ado though, let's get straight into today's video. All right, so I want to start off the video by showing you guys the actual clip of Boltz confirming to Kanata that he is now playing with Rise and Clix, because we still haven't seen any official tweets between Clix or Boltz or Rise from themselves actually saying this, but we have had confirmation on multiple streams now of them saying that this is true and they are going to be at least trying out for the next Cash Cup. So let me show you guys that clip real quick.
So Boltz, like, do you have the trio cooked up right now, or is it not being leaked?
I mean, just Rise and Clix.
Okay.
All right, I'm not gonna lie, this was definitely not like the most excited reaction I've ever seen to someone announcing their new trio, but I mean, you honestly can't like blame him too much for this. He just got dropped by Peterbot and Pollo after placing third place in the Trio Cash Cup finals due to a bug. So Boltz went from on like the FNCS favorite winning team going forwards to now playing with Clix and Rise, who Clix I'm pretty sure is not even going to be in NA for like the second half of the month. And just going from Peterbot and Pollo to Clix and Rise, who is still a very good trio option for him, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I don't think most of us either would be like too excited going from Peterbot and Pollo to Clix and Rise now. I do still think this is a very good trio though. The only thing about this trio is none of us really know how long they're actually going to stick together for. I would assume they're at least going to try out for one Cash Cup, because if you guys remember in the very beginning, Clix was supposed to play with Boltz and Rapid when they were more like underrated compared to like how high their stocks are now. So it is kind of cool to see Boltz end up going back to Clix now, and then Rise is actually going back to Clix now also after all of like the trash talking he was doing on the timeline last night. I think this definitely is a better option for Rise than what he had before with Cooper and Aviv. I think for Clix, this is like almost best case scenario for him as well. The only person obviously that it might not be the best for right now is going to be Boltz. The only thing about this trio is I just don't really know if Boltz is going to have much loyalty to Clix and Rise here, because let's say that like Peterbot, Rapid, and Pollo completely dud, and Peter's like, oh yo Boltz, come back and play with us again, I want to IGL again and I think we can still win everything. I don't think there is any way that Boltz is going to say no to that. It really just depends on if this team is able to build up chemistry together and how they look after the first Trio Cash Cup, because if they just completely go out there and dud the first Trio Cash Cup, then this team really could split up faster than they got together. Another thing about this is we literally have like 3 days still until the Trio Cash Cup, so if another trio isn't too confident right now in how they're feeling, Boltz could already be leaving this team before they even play a single tournament together. There is just still so many different ways that this trio could end up going. You kind of do have to feel bad for Muzz, but at the same time, you have to understand the situation where Clix is coming from. Muzz is literally not going to be in NA for the rest of the season now, as he is going back to OCE, and he would not be back until at least the beginning of Chapter 6. And if you are Clix, you have to be able to keep your stock up high to show the other players that you are not just completely terrible. So even if he is waiting for Muzz, he has to still be able to find another good third option. And since he is able to get Boltz now, I don't think a lot of people is blaming him for dropping Muzz for Boltz. I think something that could be really interesting is if Clix, Rise, and Boltz end up playing a couple Cash Cups together. They do decently well, but nothing like too crazy. And then at the end of the season, if we do see Boltz end up snaking them to go back to a different trio, I think that at least buys Clix and Rise enough time to be able to go and pick up Muzz again as soon as he is coming back to NA. So I think for Clix, this really does just help his overall situation out a lot. I think another very big variable that played into this is Boltz is clearly wanting to be more on his content grind now. He's been uploading almost every single day on YouTube. He has been streaming so consistently on Twitch now as well, and we have already been seeing like the massive blow up from Boltz recently, but especially now if he is going to be able to play with Clix, I think this really could be like the massive blow up that really takes Boltz to that next level now. So I'm not necessarily saying that like he's gonna use him for clout or anything, but we do all know that the Clix effect is very real, and pretty much any teammate that Clix gets is instantly going to get a huge amount of clout from it. And if they are able to play well, which I don't really see a reason why they wouldn't, then I think this is just going to boost all of them up a lot. All right, let's get into some fun hypotheticals here and talk about whether or not I think this is Clix's best chance to win an FNCS now. Is this the best teammates that he has ever had? For the second part of that question on if it is the best teammates he has ever had, I don't necessarily think so. I think Vino is still going to be the best teammate that Clix ever gets. But from a trio perspective, if this team is able to make it all the way until FNCS, I think this is probably the best trio option that Clix really was going to have. Besides obviously the Boltz and Rapid trio, which was like his beginning trio at the very start of the season. And I already made a whole video yesterday talking about how I don't really think Peterbot, Pollo, and Rapid are going to stick until FNCS. But I mean, if we do just want to have some fun and say the trio of Boltz, Clix, and Rise is going to stick together all the way until FNCS, what exactly is their ceiling and their floor? I think the ceiling of this trio is definitely a top 3 in FNCS Grand Finals. Rise has already proved to be one of the most underrated and one of the best IGLs in all of NA. Boltz is obviously a top 3 fragger in NA, and then Clix can play the support role, he can play the support fragging role, or he can also just play a pure fragging role. So the 3 like roles for the trio is definitely there, but it really does just come down to whether or not you think that Clix is going to get snaked here. And I'm not gonna lie, I already know a lot of people are going to be saying it's really dumb for Clix to be dropping Muzz, because Muzz was going to be one of the only like loyal teammates to Clix. But I think this situation is different from the situation where he originally dropped Rise, because he kind of just dropped Rise out of nowhere to just get the chance to play with Rapid, and that was definitely going well for them. But then Clix had to miss the trio cash cup, and then obviously Rapid got the offer from Pete like we already talked about. But I just don't really think you can fault Clix here. Muzz is just leaving at one of the most unfortunate times. He is playing so well right now too. Muzz definitely does look like one of the best fraggers in all of NA. He has been placing so consistently in every single trio cash cup so far this season, really no matter who his teammates have been. If you're wondering who Muzz's trio is going to be now, it's honestly very hard to predict who it's going to be when he comes back to NA. But for OCE, he is going to be treeing up with Vortex and Oatly, so I think he will still perform very good on OCE. But obviously the thing that matters to him is NA, because that is where he is going to be playing FNCS at. I don't think there's really any scenario where Muzz is like, I'm not going to find any good options in NA, I might as well just stay in OCE and play with Oatly and Vortex for FNCS. But I mean, that still is a pretty far ways away, so I guess we will just have to wait and see. For anybody that like is considering that to maybe be an option though, I don't think that's gonna happen. I definitely do not think this is the end of snake season though. I still think we have a very long way to go. I wouldn't even be surprised if by the end of the month, like none of these teams are still sticking together. At the end of the day, it really just depends on what Peterbot wants to do. He kind of controls the whole trio market right now, because if one day Peterbot just decides he wants to just form a completely new trio than what he has right now, he has the power to pretty much screw over any single team that he wants. And I've said this once, but I will say it again, I don't think we have ever seen a person have as much power than what Peterbot does have right now. Let me know what you guys think about this brand new crazy trio though, and let me know about some other teams you guys think might form and might split in the comment section down below. I should have a video coming out maybe tomorrow or the next day officially going over all of the confirmed teams once the dust kind of settles down and we really do get the final information on every single trio. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new though. Remember, as we are super close to 80,000 subscribers, use code KDog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says to enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at KDog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive, especially the massive snake season news that is going to continue to drop daily. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.